What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Adobe Live with your beautiful host, Brandon Groce. We are about to get into day number 4 in our daily creative challenge for XD. I want to say hi to you guys. We have Cody Bear in the house. What's going on? We have Mitchell. We have a lot of people, guys. I'm glad to have you guys here. If you are on YouTube, come jump over to Behance if you have any questions. This is where we're chatting. But let's talk about this, or really today's challenge, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are new to Daily Creative Challenge, there's a link down in the description to really join in on what we're gonna be doing today. You're gonna land on this page, behance.net/challenge/XD. What's going on, Laura? Glad to have you in the chat. And you're going to be brought here where you can just very beautifully join us in our Discord. It's always nice to do cool things together in a group. You'll click that and be brought into our amazing Discord. And we'll get back to this in just a second, but get in there first. But let's talk about today's challenge. We're doing a parallax effect. We're gonna design and animate the homepage for a movie platform using parallax scrolling. It's gonna be amazing. So if you want to download the Get Started or the starter file, go ahead and click this button. It will download and you'll be ready to rock with us. Now, for those of you, we'll go into this towards the end of the stream, but if you want to submit your challenges from earlier in the week or for today, you're going to go into our Discord in the feedback section and submit it in the challenge section. We have some beautiful submissions that we'll get into towards the end of our segment today. So I'm very excited. I've seen quite a few things that you guys are like, beautifully done. So let's hop into our starter file. We will when you guys open it up, you'll see 2 parts. What the prompt is, we are on day number 4 and we are project number 4, and you will have on your right side of the project descripciones a little starter file. You guys will not have all this stuff to the right because of reasons. But I wanted you guys to have a little bit of flexibility in terms of what you guys decide to put into your project. You guys have done a great job. Those of you who have submitted challenges already, done some pretty unique things regardless of what we've shown throughout this week. So I'm excited. All right. So like I said, we're going to do a movie platform. We're going to get into doing some pretty interesting animations here. I want to, as always, show you a little bit of what we're going to get into today. We have some a little bit of parallax. We can do more if we have time, but this basically just goes back and forth. Obviously, that's not what we're really shooting for, but if you look at the characters at the bottom, they kind of move not together, but in a succinct, like 3 different layers. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the background, the middle layer, and the foreground characters. I'm going to show you guys how to do all of that. All right. Well, first off, let's get the basics down. Let's go to our starter file here. I'm just going to steal my assets that I was using previously, and I'm just going to paste them in very quick, because what I want to get to is how we kind of take these assets. For those of you who are curious how we did that last portion in our design, we took 2 designs. We took this photograph from the amazing movie Soul, and we also took this, the background, and we essentially took the 2 main characters of this video. We cut them out in Photoshop, as well as our, I don't know what to call these things, the Guardians. Mesa says that looks awesome. Well, much love. I'm glad that you guys are digging this. And let me just show you in Photoshop. So essentially what I did is I just right-clicked and I clicked Edit in Photoshop, and I got my layers brought in just like this. So I had one. I'm going to go back to XD. Oop, this one. And I'm going to essentially this one will just be the background. I'll bring this one back in too. Also Edit in Photoshop. So I have my 2 pieces here. Essentially, I just want this character, and this character cut out. I've already done that for you, so you can kind of see how I've segmented it and how to also export these as well. Derek says, Parallax is my favorite. It is mine too. It kind of sounds, I wish it was a little, Parallax sounds like a very enticing ice cream. Sadly, it is not. So, this is how I kind of broke it down. We have my background here. I kind of cut out this character, and then I have my foreground. So essentially I can move these independently. I can have foreground, I can have my middle ground, kind of poke out here, and then I have my background that I can move and any arrangement or even enlarge. So that's how and I would essentially just select all these, right click, and quick export as PNGs, and I would tell it where I want it to go. As of right now, I have a beautiful folder of these already. I have my background, I have my middle ground, I have my foreground. So we're going to get to that just very, very quickly. So we'll leave, if we have a little bit of time, we'll leave some of the cool stuff that I have planned or wanted to do a little bit later, but let's get down to the basics. All right, in your starter file, you should have all of this stuff good to go. Get a photo in there, and let's just drop this baby down. Let's pull this down. So first things first, let's pull in we have our different assets. We have foreground, background, and blob. Sen says, you love the tie, my friend. My tie loves you. It's showing appreciation for your appreciation. All right, so I'm just gonna scale this up. First thing we're gonna do, if you guys take a look here, I have this set up in two ways. I set up my final design of what this is to look like, and then that second screen, what this should look like, okay? But then the prototype, I want to this is what we need to change, all right? So what I'm going to do first is I'm just gonna get everything in arrangement. So we have, just for the sake of time, I'm going to put this in the background. Actually, I'm not going to. Let me just pull all that back. That's gonna complicate things. So let's keep working on our background here. So we have, I'm gonna pull this up just a tad bit. I just want it underneath that button. And you know what? I actually forgot how I built this, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in your starter group and you're probably like, why can't I move these things in Succinction? I actually grouped this entire thing already. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna just ungroup this because that is a final step. We'll do that later and I'll explain why. So going back to taking my background here, scaling it up. I'm gonna place it behind our button here, and I finally can do that because I ungrouped some things. And I'm just gonna place my other pieces, my other puzzle pieces in. So I have my background, I have my foreground, and this is assuming that you've already cut these things out, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have done an excellent job already in the Discord, doing a pretty good job of that, making things that, rather than taking all the assets that I've given you guys, or lack thereof, and done a pretty good job basically creating some pretty unique things. So I have the middle ground piece here, and we're just going to scale this buddy up. And it looks a little weird, like his ears or whatever these lobes are kind of like out there. So I'm just going to move our friend in a good spot here. I'm using my arrow keys. I also want to, there we go. And I might want to hide that lobe a little bit. So I'm just going to scale him or the thing up a little bit. And kind of move them in a spot that I kind of dig. This might be fine. And if not, we can move them. Seems a little big. Just scale and put them behind the button. We'll figure out the lobe thing later, guys. It's not that serious. But what I do want to get to, and maybe for reference, maybe I'll go back here and see how I did it. Oh, I put them really far back there. All right. Let's go here. And I'm also going to offset these characters just a little bit. And push them real deep in there. All right. And reason why is because make these really large. All right. Scale these a little bit more. Push them a little bit into there. All right. So we have our 3 layers, and just for placeholder, I am going to drag a box just like this. And out of curiosity, those in the chat, how many of you have played with Parallax in Adobe XD? Yay or nay? Put one in the chat if you have, and like the video if you have. And if you haven't, let us know why and maybe what some of your challenges were. Maybe we can answer some of the questions here. All right, so we have our little box where we're going to be putting the video, and we have our 3 layers here: background, foreground, middle ground. And I am going to copy these 2 buttons we have up here already in our starter file. Just like this. And I'm going to steal this again. I'm just going to put a nice little photo in there using Control-Alt-V if you're on PC. That rhymed. And I'm going to put a little bit of an overlay on this. Turn off the border. I'm actually going to steal this dark color that I had originally. And I'm going to turn down the opacity. And this button doesn't really fare well with the background. So I'm just going to delete that. What we might actually do is we might pull this in here. As I'm putting this together, how are you guys feeling about this week's challenges? Are you digging them? Which day was your favorite? Honestly, it seems like your guys' favorite has been the first days, which was the auto animate, auto scrolling piece. There was a lot of submissions on that one. All right, so I'm just gonna get a play icon very quickly. I'm gonna grab this one using icon for design. It's a nice little plugin you can download with inside Adobe XD. You don't have to leave to get icons, ladies and gentlemen. Meza says never, just transitioning into the field. Well, you are in the right place. This is exactly where you should be to be getting the best of the best tips and tricks from masters on the Adobe Live to get basically running start on what it is that you want to do in your career. So nice work. We're glad you're here. I'm gonna take the border off of this this button. It's kind of weird. All right, so now we can actually get into auto animating. We're 13 minutes in now. Let's get into the cool stuff, guys. And I lied again. I am going to be putting this background image behind here because now it's not grouped and it will actually work. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this up. I don't need all that space at the bottom. Cody Bear saving everybody with the icons for design link in the chat. Very nice. Thank you, Cody. And I am so sorry. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced like Cody. I think we've talked about that prior. But I'll get it the next time. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we have, just like we did, we're trying to use all of the skills that we've semi-learned in previous challenges and trying to incorporate them into each piece. So what I'm going to do here is, first off, before I duplicate, I'm going to group this entire artboard because we're going to be doing some scrolling here. Some things are going to fall off the artboard and we don't want to. Oh, it's pronounced Cody. Sweet. All right, very nice. My memory serves me correctly. All right, so I've grouped everything because we don't want, if I don't group it, if I decide to take this background and move it down here, it comes off the artboard. That is why. So I'm going to group this because we're going to be doing some sweet auto animation. I'm going to duplicate this here. And as we've learned from previously this week, we want before and afters. So we're starting here and we want to end up with going from here to basically here. Now, before we hop in there, let me show you what this looks like so far. We're going to go to prototype. We're going to pull this beautiful pick whip thing, and we're going to drag it from our first artboard to the second artboard. And we are going to change our type from transition to auto animate. And we're going to pick our easing to snap because that's what we do. All right, we're going to go our duration, the time that we want to actually have this animate. We'll do about like 2.5 seconds. And we will do the same back just so we can see how it goes back and forth. All right. You wouldn't do this in like a real prototype, but in this case scenario, without me having to keep playing like the play, I want to see the transition between one scroll and then the other. And let me see here very quickly. Oh, it's on tap. We don't want it on tap. Can you tell me about the grid? Why people use different sizes? That is a great question, and it is just honestly personal preference. By the way, I'm changing my trigger from tap to time, and I'm going to increase the delay to 2 seconds. Grids are purely just, hey, I would like my website to look like this. That's honestly what it is, unless you work at a company and they have already dictated what the style guide should be for what it is that you're creating, internal or external for a company. All right, so we have our scroll. Next, let's work on this parallax piece. So everything seems pretty static, but we want some movement. And we did this a little bit on Tuesday, but now we're trying to create like a parallax effect. We want our characters and our midground folks, or our midground characters, to come in at different times. So we're gonna pull this like super far down. I'm holding shift. I'm not sure if that answered your question about the grids, but it's honestly, it's dependent on, It's really a hard question to answer because I'm not entirely sure if it will make sense the way that I'm saying it. For example, I created my own grids because I thought this looks best for what I wanted to create. Other people will make different grids because they feel that what it is that they're trying to make will look best with those type of grids. So there's no rule unless you're working with a particular developer with particular constraints. All right. So let's see what we did. We basically just moved like all of our characters and our background a little bit. So now when we actually do our animation, remember XD is before and after. Look how simple that is. We don't have to go into After Effects and like keyframe 20 times and move things. We can just very simply, hey, characters start from here to here, please. Thank you very much. And it's an easy day. And now here's the thing. We've done this in, what time is it? We're 18 minutes in. And this time I will not get cut off. I will end promptly today. We can do a lot of other things. For example, this background that I have here that is the component. I can go in here. And I'm actually going to move this. I'm going to pull that out. Actually, I lied again. I don't think it actually matters. Because what I was planning on doing is, and I might be able to do it. I'm going to go to my layers palette really quick. All right, we're at the 19-minute mark. I'm going to open this component very quickly. Go into this mask, these groups, okay. And I have a whole bunch of groups like all these different movies, essentially. And I am going to move these a little bit. I'm gonna move them down. Nah, I'm gonna move them up, actually. I'm gonna move them up. All these. I'm just going to move these up a little bit. 1, 2, using my arrow keys. And what this is going to turn into is essentially when the page scrolls down. Oh boy. Hold on. All this stuff is like so layered. So like when I misclick, it just like goes out of all of the, okay, so I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna try to find this other layer if I can. And this is why you always name your layers, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so 848. All right, there we go. We're gonna move that up and do a quick time check. All right, we are at 21. We got about like 5-ish minutes. We should be able to finish this at the very tail end. Actually, no. Well, let me just show you what this does. I'm not gonna go all the way because it will take a little bit more time, but I just wanna illustrate what it does. If you guys saw the left portion, see we have the movies move just a little bit. So they'll scroll, they'll go up. So we could do that to the entire grid, okay? I'm not going to because it will take figuring out where my layers are and things of that nature, but you can get pretty complex with how you want to do this. You can even have a loading animation if you all are remembering the what we did this week with the bottle animations, which you guys have done an excellent job on. You can do some really cool stuff. So the last couple minutes here that we have, I do want to hop into Discord very quickly to see what you guys have been up to. All right. And please let me know if you have any questions on the Parallax. I did see 2 custom icon submissions, so excellent job, 2 to 3. I was hoping I think there was 1 person that hopped into Dimension. If you guys hopped into Dimension this week, man, or you're going to, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. But excellent work with these loading animations. You guys are really making them your own. It's really exciting to see what you guys have been able to achieve. So I can't wait to see what you guys all do with the Parallax. And the reason I've opened this one, I was like, be fat always. I saw this morning. I was like, yes, that is me. Please. Because that, you know, the power it takes not to order a cheeseburger with the power of DoorDash at your fingertips is quite a strong one. Okay. Also love this macaroon. Beautiful work. Got that, yes, we got some of that auto animate scrolling coming in. The macaroons beautifully coming in. You all did a excellent job here. You all are mixing up things with yesterday's challenge or Tuesday's challenge and the auto animation. Yeah, ooh, yes. Excellent work. All right, let's see how much time we got. All right, we have time. We have about 4 minutes. And by the way, if you all are working on your challenges, do remember to put them in the feedback in the challenge section. We're watching. All right, let's see if we can do this very quickly with the time that we have left. All right, we're going back into my component. We're diving deep, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to get in there. All right, we're gonna go to, all right, boom, boom. We're gonna pull this up. Boom. Boom. All right, there we go. We're gonna pull this up. Manuel says, looks really good. Much love, my friend. Oh, we're trying some things. All right, so we're gonna pull these up. I'm gonna drag this here. Actually, I'm gonna pull that down. I'm gonna grab, whoop. No, all right. Grab this, and this. Pull this up. Nicely done. And there's one more all the way in there. Again, if you were not in this very moment, I would hope that you all have layered or named your layers. It would help tremendously. There we go. I think that works. All right, so let's take a look at this. We have those movies up there that are scrolling as we're scrolling down here. We can do a lot. We can do a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are 2 minutes out. I want to say thank you so much for joining us for this week's Daily Creative Challenge for XD. If you want to continue doing these awesome things, don't forget to add your submissions in our Discord so we can take a look, give us some feedback. I'll be in there definitely a little bit after the stream, so drop your stuff in there. We'll check it out and give some feedback. Other than that, we'll be back same time, same place next week. Super excited to continue the second week going on into the Daily Creative Challenge, and we will see you then. Other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend, and we will talk very soon. So with that said, I will holler at you next week. We'll be same time, same place, and we will see you there. Other than that, see you guys in the Discord. Peace.